Why don't we go next to, oh, I don't know. How about David from Regina, Saskatchewan?
Regina, actually,
Is
Regina.
that true? That's how it's pronounced?
Yes, it is actually. There's a song
Wow.
online called "Experience Regina." Jimmy Fallon actually has he's covered that before, but
David from
look it up.
Regina,
It's
welcome to the program.
yeah. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I guess my question today. I've been you had a caller a few weeks back who was talking about gender and sex, and I feel like something's happening a lot where the right is conflating these two things a lot, right? Like they don't understand the difference between biological sex and gender expression, right?
Yep.
While they're related, they're not the same thing. So I guess my question is like, how the hell do we even start to have that discussion, right? Like I feel like we can't even have a discussion about the issue without people understanding what that even means, if that makes sense. Like, is there anything
Yeah,
we
I
can
don't
do
know.
about
Like
that?
I feel like so the call you're thinking of, I made an attempt to try to explain to the caller who maybe was just unwilling rather than unable to see. I gave the example of The Rock and then the fashion designer Isaac Mizrahi. And I think that in a
Hmm.
respectful way, I explained, you understand these are both males, right? We're talking about biological males. They were born male, et cetera. We're talking, they're both male. The Rock expresses gender in a much more stereotypically masculine way, whereas Isaac Mizrahi expresses gender in a much more feminine way. Like you, so the idea
Right.
was to get him to think, okay, right, penis, penis, I see that. And then here's one presentation and here's another presentation. Oh, there's more than just the genitalia. Like I tried, you know. I think sometimes it's like you've got to use examples like that to maybe get them to think about these things. But I agree with you. A lot of them do, they don't seem to want to get it, honestly.
Well, and that's just it, right? I think, and I think honestly, like, if they would just take even just like an introductory level course in like any of these social science topics, like we've talked about this for decades and decades, and like
Yeah.
there's really no debate about the difference between these things anymore, right? So,
No.
but it's scary stuff. Like it has a real impact, and we're definitely frightened up here in Canada watching your Supreme Court do all these weird things. So, yeah, I hope you guys can turn that around with the next election for sure.
Well, let's hope so. We are. I am on board with your now. How is this an issue that's even really discussed where you are, or is it just like people don't really talk about this?
I'm in Saskatchewan, and we're kind of the most right-wing place in Canada, so like it's conservative haven here. But as a country, as a whole, I mean, it's discussed, and there's like kind of a fringe movement of people who want to do the whole mega thing here. But I would say, as a majority, I don't see that happening. I don't see that movement getting a lot of traction. Even here in the conservative kind of Bible Belt of Canada, it's while it's more popular here, some of these ideas, they're still not getting enough traction to like influence a lot of policy and that kind of thing. So I think I'm hoping we're safe. I mean, I knock on wood, right? So
I hope that that's the case, David. I appreciate the call.
yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Great to hear from our friendly neighbors to the north, of course.